This is the channel update, bi-monthly channel update for August, September. Boy, it's been a bloody hot month this month, I'll tell you. Yeah, been suffering a bit. Angina played up quite a bit, so much so I ended up having to go to a hospital recently, but thankfully I was in the all clear. It was just a case where it was aggravated asthma with the extremely hot weather. And today being the 1st of September, it's quite warm again, but I think this might be the last hurrah for the summer, so we shall see. Anyway, what I'm going to do for a change is I'm just going to go through what I've actually had as regards acquisitions for the last 2 months. And yeah, I've been buying more than I've been building, and then unfortunately I'm going to have to stop. So I think the landlord's catching on and he's not very happy, so hey ho. But that's us modelers anyway. But I must admit, it's getting to a stage where I'm starting to run out of room, so I'm going to have to cut back. So you may not see any acquisitions on the next one in a couple of months' time. But anyway, first off, I basically got this set in recently, which is ICM's British Infantry and Gas Mask 1917. Now, I am thinking of doing that as a possible build later this year, because obviously the next couple of months it's going to be the centenary of the end of the First World War. So I might be putting my hat in the ring to have a go at this as my own little sort of tribute to all the guys that we lost during the First War. I've got an idea in my head using a previous set along with this, so we shall see. But I've had a quick look at it. The detail on it is just second to none with ICM. I don't know what their figures are like to actually put together, but I shall find out, so we shall see. Now, another set which I did put around here somewhere is this set, which I got off eBay. And I'm going to actually use this, possibly, for some of the flight deck crew to go with an idea I've got for my Phantom Airfix Phantom FG1 as deck crew, because they could probably double up as British deck crew. So I'll probably have to do a few modifications, but hey. Not a bad little set, and should go well with the old Phantom. Next up, yes, you guessed it, I couldn't resist it when it was announced. I got Rifle's Tiger Lake production, specifically because this is actually one of the versions you can do is a Command Tiger, which is Wittmann's 007. Does look superb, fantastic looking detail, and I'm sure it's going to build into a real beauty. So that will go nicely with my Tiger stash. And from the newest to one of the oldest, got the old Venerable Tamiya late as well. Might do that with Wittmann's 205 Tiger. That's an idea I've got in my head. Just got to get some Zim and some extras in for it, so that's possibly for a future build. Next one is one I've got from Nicky at Veterans Kits for around about, I think, 35, which is Edwards Limited Edition Typhoon Mark 1B. Comes with all the accessories, a little bit of etch brass, a few little bits of resin for your cockpit, etc. And you've got the option of doing 6 versions. I must admit this one quite takes my eye with the shark's teeth. We shall see. Next one up is the Academy one, which is the MiG-29UB. I've actually got a brassing set, which the seller had in with this for the exhausts and some of the cockpit detail, which should look awesome. And I've got some aftermarket decals in for a Polish bird, so that's a future possible project. Then I've got a big bird off eBay, in fact via Jadlam, at a very good deal for 1975. Revell's 172nd Shackleton AEW Mark II. It was the last of the piston engine aircraft in the Earth's inventory, and obviously you can see with the inheritance from the Lancaster and the Lincoln, it was another thoroughbred of their line and served extremely well. And I think flew up until around about 1993 when the Sentries came in to replace them. Been after this one quite a while and just couldn't not get tempted. Next one up was Italy's SU-27 flanker, Russian bird, going at a good deal again. Still quite a big bird for 1/72. I'm sure that's going to be a lovely build. Then Spit 1 from Tamiya, the old venerable Spit 1. I've got an idea of doing that as a Dunkirk bird, because it'd be a big difference from doing a Battle of Britain bird. Still stands up well, although there's not as much detail as the old Airfix kit or retooling. But I'm sure it's going to be a lovely build. And then this one, which is a recent release, to complete my heavy bomber collection, and I'll probably do an inbox review at some stage, is the Handy Halifax from Revell B Mark III 1/72. Again, I got this for a very good deal, about £19, although it says 26 on there, from Throne Model Centre. They were having it on offer, so I thought I'd snap that one up. Detailing it looks very good, although I have ordered some aftermarket just to enhance the cockpit a little bit more. And this one I went on eBay for about £21. Is 1/48 Mosquito B Mark IV. This is a Pathfinder variant. I just love this colour scheme, and the detail looks awesome. Another 4-engine heavy, which I got a very good rate of £16 something, again from Jadlam, is the old Revell Lancaster B Mark I-3. Now, my ideas behind this are to do it as a Hemswell bird, specifically because I've got a DVD around here, which I did put down, and I can't find it now. It's basically from a colour film, rare cine colour film called Night Bombers. Check it out. I think it's on YouTube, or you can get it on DVD. It was a typical colour cine film, and the only one known of a typical Lancaster Squadron bombing raid, so check it out. And I'm hoping and trying to find anybody who does any Hemswell Lancasters. Not had any luck so far, so if anybody's got any suggestions or got a link as to where I can get the decals for a Hemswell Lancaster, circa November 1944 from 170 or 150 Squadron, just leave a link or let me know where I can get hold of them for the aftermarket decals. And this one, recently I've seen on RTV Models, and Lenny did a superb job with it. It's the recently released Airfix Wellington retooled Mark 1AC. The interior on it is fantastic. You've got one of two birds. I think I've done an inbox review on this, so look back on the channel. It was basically the Sergeant Pilot Jones actually climbed onto the wing of the actual aircraft to put out a fire on the starboard engine, and for that he actually got a Victoria Cross. And the other version you can do is our Robert, which is based at Brooklands Museum, which actually brought up from Loch Ness. I think I'm going to go for this version, but I might do it as a cutout just to show the interior. So I thought that idea was in my head, because I thought, well, it's a shame to get all that interior built and not see it. And it does look a fantastic kit, and I wholly recommend you get here. Now, last one, well, not last one. This is one, an old venerable one, which I couldn't resist, and I haven't got very many Panthers in my stash, is the Panther G early version with a skirt. Now, I am going to have to get some aftermarket Zim with this one, but that's for a future project. This one I couldn't resist because I got it for $10.80 on eBay. Is the Zero A6M3 Hamp with the cut wings. I just thought it's unusual, and with that colour scheme it just looks lovely. And I've got this little bird, which is Airfix's retooled 1/72 Hunting Percival Jet Brothers T4 in 1/72. I love this colour scheme. It's from the old Red Pelicans aerobatic team of the 60s. Really sticks out, and it was based at the Central Flying School as well. I think it was Little Risington then. But yeah, looking forward to doing that little build. One of Edouard's weekend jobs, the Faust D3A. Level of detail looks superb on it, and one of two colour schemes you can do with silver grey with that one, which is an interesting scheme, but I think I'm going to go for that one. So there you go. And And I've got another ICM kit, Spit Mark 9 D-Day version with ground crew and pilot, so that should be a good basis for a diorama, and they do look good kits. And then this one, which I got a very good deal again, F6 F5 Hellcat late version. I just love this colour scheme. Especially with the tail markings, and it's sort of a glossy finish, so yeah, looks a lovely kit. And then I've got a couple of Bandai Star Wars ones. X-Wing Resistance Fighter, Blue Squadron, beautiful kit, lovely detail, and I'm sure it's going to be a lovely build. And alongside that, from The Force Awakens, I've got the TIE Fighter Special Forces TIE Fighter. Again, beautiful level of detail on it, easy build, just basically falls together, and I'm sure it's going to be a lovely little build alongside the TIE Fighter, well, the X-Wing. And I've done an inbox review on this beauty, which is Italerri's retool of the Sterling Mark 1. Detail inside this is tremendous. I don't really think you're going to need any aftermarket. Panel lines are a little heavy, but I'm sure it's going to build into a beautiful representation of this first of the 4-engine heavies. Does look an awesome size as well for the kit. So there you go. And then finally, I couldn't resist it, was this one, ICM's HE-111H3 bomber. Possibly going to do it as a Battle of Britain bird in this colour scheme. Detail on this looks awesome. The size of it is immense. So I might leave that as when I move and have a little bit more space in the man cave, as it were. And then finally, 3 more, which I forgot about. Oh. And yeah, I have been stocking up this month, I must admit. Oh. One I got from a company called CBA Hobbies Limited, and if you look at my page, I actually took some photographs of their shop, which are based in Camberley. Got this one at a good deal for about £24, and it's Airfix's recently released, retooled 148 Junkers JDSM R2 B2 Stuka. This you can do as a Libyan bird in the desert scheme, which you see here, or one that was based in Russia with a traditional sort of splinter camo scheme. I'm going to see if I can get some aftermarket decals for a Battle of Britain or Dunkirk bird myself, but again, the level of detail in the interior, especially with the engine, is awesome, and I'm glad I got it in my inventory. Again, it builds into quite substantial birds, so yeah, definitely get yourself one of those. And then, having watched Cohen C's video on some of these last Whitman builds, I ended up buying this. I did have it in my inventory before, but I got it back again. The SDKFZ 2326 Rad. You do get some aftermarket resin and etched brass, and it does build into quite a nice kit. So there you go. And then finally, from Liquid Veteranus, I got a British Chally 2 again in me stash. Got this one at a very good rate with Nikki, which I'm very thankful for. It's in the traditional sort of black and olive green scheme, and is basically based on a K4 vehicle which was used out in Bosnia. So yeah, that one is going to be a lovely beast to build, and that will go alongside my Desertized version. So basically, guys, that's what I've had in this month. Oh, and one thing I will mention is get yourself this magazine. I just bought this the other day for £5.99. It's distributed by FX Model World. It's all about dioramas, basic tips and techniques. It's even got Tim Hedworth's featured build he did, and well, that was awesome, especially with the explosion that he recreated on it. goes through various builds, tips, techniques, how to build up the diorama, the figures, how you paint them. This one's a fairly sort of what if Robot Wars one. Again, brilliant dio. And you've got various ones, very highly comprehensively detailed, takes you through all the processes of the build up the dioramas and what to do if you're a novice on dioramas, which I am. This one I like, with the Ardennes version. That's awesome, the old 262. So yeah, definitely get this magazine. It's quite handy if you have never done a diorama, and gives you all the basic tips. Not bad for $5.99. Anyway, not a lot done on the build front, I'm afraid. I'm still sort of working on my Tiger. How are we doing for time? Yeah, plenty. This is the Dragon 6350 Whitman Cursed Tiger. Operation Zittertail, July 1943. A very rare kit to get hold of now. As I say, I was very lucky to get it at 65 when you averages around about 250 to get hold of these. As you can't get these anymore. This was, I think, released around about 2006 when Dragon were at their height with all the extras, etc. I have to say the prices they're charging now are just outrageous, and they don't include your Dragon card or anything now. Then it would have been justified, but now I can't justify some of the new kits, although the level of detail on their kits is superb. Instructions, as we all know, are a bit of a nightmare. So really you've got to do your research on your subjects. That's what I would enhance you do. Yeah, as particularly it was tricky was putting these guide horns on the spare tracks on the side of the turret. The amount of times I knocked them off. But again, with Dragon, they got so many spare parts, it was just handy to have them. Overall, the general build of this was fairly simple, a little bit time consuming. I did, as you can see, sort of chip up and dent the side skirts with my little power drill. Cut one bit off. Bent this bit here, so it's a little battle weary, as it were, because they did get damaged quite frequently, and in the field they used to just take them off. And I just thinned it to give it the level of thin sheet metal. Little bits of battle damage on the side with the dents in the armour, frontal armour here, and obviously around the side skirts subtly. Not too much damage, few shell holes I've drilled in, especially around the exhaust shrouds, and dented the top of them because they would have got bent with the heat coming out the exhausts, and obviously a few marks on the old Fifles as well. But as I say, a nice kit, and I've enjoyed it so far. At the moment it's in black primer, which I did with Steiner Rez. That's as far as I've got so far. The other bits I also basically primed were all the running gear. They're all done, as you can see here, one half and the other half, because these things had about 48, 49 wheels. Yeah, that's the trouble, these Tigers and Panthers are a little bit over engineered. Tracks are done as well, as you can see here. They're all primed, the old DS tracks. I was thinking of doing Magic tracks, but just didn't have the time. I just wanted to get on with the build, so I went with the DS. The spares I can use on another build for some time in the future. So those are done. Also, let me see. Oh yes, the figures, I've done those as well. They're a mixture of a Dragon LH Division crew set, which you can see these two here, the loader and the commander, which is supposed to represent Bobby and also Michael Whitman. And then I actually basically got a machine gun crew set, because I think that would add some interest in the vignette, as it were. Again, they're all in primer, went together fairly easily. The machine gun crew set were from, oh sorry, I've just knocked the wheels. This set here, which I snapped up on eBay for about £5. an old set from 1994. I'm not sure if they're still in circulation. It's just an ordinary sort of field machine gun crew set on manoeuvres. So I thought that would add a bit of interest to the vignette, as it were. Now, the actual vignette base itself, where did I put it? Bear with me. Now, what have I done with that? Because I wanted to show you that to you guys. Where did I put it? Oh, I don't know what. Oh, here we go. I've got it. Here we go. Basic normal picture frame, which I got from Poundland, obviously before they went bust. For about £1, as you were. If it's Poundland, it was £1. Just masked it off with some tape, thick. Which tape was this? Hang on. It's here somewhere. Nope, can't find it. It's the sort of tape you use when you're doing panel lines, you know, rescribing, that sort of stuff. So I've masked that off, following Carl's technique on making models, and then put a load of, well, basically non-crack polyfiller in. I was going to use Celiclay, but apparently that really stinks before it dries, and I don't think my landlord would have appreciated the stench, let alone me. So basically I used the old polyfiller, wetted the surface to give it a nice smooth effect, and then you can see I put track impressions on it. When it was nearly dry, I just basically got hold of my old Tiger. I did my first build, Tiger build with, and just pressed that down to give the track impression. And that's it, job done basically. And then just went over the black Steiner res again, just to give it a nice flat base for when I put the base colours down. So there you go, really. So basically that's as far as I've actually got in regards to this build. I'm only concentrating on this one at the moment, because the one I was due to do alongside it, which was for the Scale 100 group build, which Tim Edwards set up to celebrate the centenary of the Air Force, which was going to be this one. I just ran out of time, unfortunately, guys, with life, etc. So I had to go by the by. So sorry, Tim. I'll probably get around to building it at some stage. So there you go. I just got to a stage where I don't want to inundate myself with group builds and stuff, you know. So that's why I'm not really sort of taking anybody's suggestion up for entering group builds at the moment. And I've also got my Warren Blanche buddy build to get back on. Had a little misfortune with the V1 which got broken, so I'll have to order another one in to replace it. But the vignette on that is very much as you saw it last time. What I'm looking to get is just basically some plaster bandage, so I can put that down to start levelling the surfaces out for the hills or the banks on either side of the lawn trail. So I should get the cracking on that soon. Anyway, that's basically where I've got in regard to my builds and what I've acquired over the last month. I'm probably trying not to buy any more now, because its space is becoming an issue, and the old landlord's starting to kick off about it. So I've got to be a good boy now. Having said that, I'll probably get 1 or 2 in again, knowing me. But yeah, generally I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. That's as far as I've got, because time on the bench has just been a bit of a premium over the last couple of months with work and the very hot weather, which I've been suffering with. It's really taken it out of me. So getting time on the bench, you're like, ugh, you know, you just want to sit and rest. Because unfortunately the weather doesn't react well with my angina. So there you go. Having said that, it's pretty warm today. So this might be the last hurrah of summer before the winter comes in. Anyway, carrying on with those great builds out there. As I say, if anybody knows of where I can get some decals for Hemswell Lancasters, just leave either a link or a message in there. I have tried other various platforms, no joy at all. I may have to do a scratch sort of build of decals for Hemswell Lanc. I don't know. I'll have to do some more research, but we'll see. Anyway, as I say, take care, enjoy your quality time on the benches, and keep up the good builds out there. I am following anybody's videos as much as I can, although I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind with life, etc. So there you go. Anyway, in time, take care, look after yourselves, enjoy the hobby at most, and I'll speak to you soon. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and take care.